By virtue of the powers granted by the Privy Council, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland is this day holding a congregation for the conferment of degrees. Our ceremony begins with the conferment of an honorary degree. The authority of degree awarding powers resides with the Academic Board of the Conservatoire, which may confer an honorary degree of doctor upon any person it considers has made a truly outstanding contribution to their profession and whose achievements richly deserve high distinction and recognition. I now invite Nick Koonsberg, Chairman of the Board of Governors, to introduce the sponsor for the honorary graduand.
Principal Sharkey, I now invite Hugh Hodgert, Director of Drama, Dance, Production and Film, to sponsor Peter Mullan for the degree of Doctor of Drama.
Chairman, Governors of the Conservatoire, members of the Academic Board, graduands, lords, ladies and gentlemen. Born in Peterhead, brought up and educated in Glasgow, Peter Mullan, after some 35 or so years of professional activity in theatre, film and television, is an internationally renowned and much sought-after multi-award-winning actor, writer and film director. A proud and passionate Scot, Peter may spend much of his working life abroad these days, but his heart and soul remains Scottish to the core. As a man, I would suggest Peter epitomises a certain kind of Scottishness, a west of Scottishness, perhaps. Straight-talking, egalitarian, generous, curious, determined, and forthright. He is someone who inspires and is inspired by the pleasures of friendship and collaborative artistic endeavour, of wholehearted commitment to getting the job done and having a laugh at the same time, and someone who loathes injustice and the abuse of power. The forging of these characteristics, these ways of being, began, I suspect, in the hardship and turmoil of his childhood and his youth. His family life was troubled, and in his teens, he was temporarily homeless and living on the fringes of Glasgow gang culture. Experiencing and witnessing injustice has fueled, it seems, his hunger for fairness. But he says his lifelong and public commitment to socialism is firmly rooted in his Catholic upbringing. As a child, he loved the idea of doing things for others, not oneself, and fighting against evil for the common good. As he grew older, the unseen enemy, Satan, was replaced by the more palpable one of capitalism. As an artist, his achievements are immense. Highlights include, in 1998, Best Actor at Cannes Film Festival for Ken Loach's My Name is Joe. Mullan's Joe is a commanding presence, showing strength and decency. And in that same extraordinary year, Orphans, his first feature film as writer and director, won prizes in Venice and Paris, with Peter picking up Best Newcomer at the Evening Standard British Film Awards. Again a quote, "After his blistering turn in Ken Loach's My Name is Joe, Mullan moves to the other side of the lens, scripting and directing this triumphant first feature. His next feature, in 2002, The Magdalene Sisters, won a string of awards, including the Golden Lion at the Venice Film Festival. This extraordinary film is celluloid incendiarism, rabble-rousing cinema with a delirious, delicious edge of black comedy. In 2011, his film Neds was described as an intensely personal project infused with passion and semi-resolved hurt, with compelling flashes of rage and nauseous black comedy and some brilliant and bizarre images. In spite of these extraordinary successes as a filmmaker, for many of us, it's Mullan the actor we are most familiar with. That voice, that accent. I quote, "I don't do other accents because I'm crap at them." Those lived-in features, the beard, the power and intensity, the vulnerability and emotional integrity. And yet acting was never an aim, it was a means to an end, which was to tell the stories he wanted to tell by making films. And his acting began when he cast himself in a low-budget short film to save money on paying another actor. After studying economic history and drama at Glasgow University, Peter began his professional life as a teacher and youth worker, and then as a mainly comic actor with the popular political theatre company Wildcat and with Michael Boyd at the Tron. In 1988, he made his first screen appearance in a TV production of The Steamy, the first of many more, of course. In film, Riff Raff, Braveheart, Trainspotting, My Name is Joe, Miss Julie, Shallow Grave, Young Adam, Ned's, Harry Potter, Tyrannosaur, Warhorse, Sunshine on Leith, Hector, Sunset Song, The Jungle Book. And TV, Taggart, Rab C, The Trial of Tony Blair, The Fixer, Top of the Lake, The Fear, Olive Kitteridge, Westworld, Mum, Ozark. It was once suggested to him by a television director early in his career that to make the leading actor feel more comfortable in the scene they were rehearsing, it would be helpful if he could be less good. To be less good. Imagine asking Peter Mullan to be less good. Peter was determined then, and forever after, never to be less good, never to take the job for the money alone, never to compromise with the thing that really matters. Your art is your soul, he says, and you should never sell it cheap artistically. Peter continues to tell the stories that he wants to, stories that matter to him and that might change minds and shake preconceptions. This has often led him away from the big bucks and the blockbusters to the independent film sector and to long-form dramas such as Top of the Lake and most recently Ozark. He has said that acting is and always will be the greatest job on earth. Nothing goes to waste. Every feeling you've ever had, you can recycle it when you act. Peter loves acting, but he loves football too. As well as being a devoted supporter of Celtic Football Club, he was a handy footballer in his youth, playing for Glasgow schools, and even had a trial for Manchester United. Why football? I suspect it's because it's the same thing, really. Playing for an audience, playing for the team, playing for fun, playing to entertain, playing to win. This from his friend, writer and producer Martin McCarty. In 1998, there was a bunch of actors, writers, producers and directors that used to go and see Celtic. We would meet in a pub before and after games, and for a laugh, we called ourselves the Martin Scorsese Celtic Supporters Club. We set each other a task, which was to get people we worked with to pose with a Celtic jersey. We got people like Emma Thompson, Liam Neeson, Alan Rickman, and others to do it. But the holy grail was to get Martin Scorsese to do it. When Peter won the Best Actor award at the Cannes Film Festival, we were all delighted for him. And when he came back, he had the award and a photo of himself with Martin and a Celtic top. He had put the top in his sporran when he was being presented with the award. So, not only did he win the Best Actor award, but he won the Best Celtic Supporter award too. And finally, Peter, this from another old friend, fellow actor and director, Davy Mackay. And you may not thank me for quoting him. As a friend, Peter is as loyal as a Coley Doug. As a professional, when he wants something, he's like a terrier with a rag. He'll never let go. Loyalty and determination, integrity, commitment, generosity, and compassion. It is for these vital human qualities, as well as for the supreme quality of his acting and his filmmaking, his many prizes and his international renown, that I asked the principal to confer the degree of Doctor of Drama honoris causa upon Peter Mullan.
Peter, by virtue of the powers granted by the Privy Council to the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland to confer an honorary degree of the Conservatoire upon any person it may deem worthy of such distinction, and in the name of the Academic Board, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Drama honoris causa. Congratulations. Thank you. Dr. Peter Mullan to address our graduands.
Thanks very much. The face, the worn face. So a doctorate. I've actually got 2 other doctorates, actually. And I said to my sister years ago when I got the second one, I said, you now have to call me Doctor. And obviously I was joking, and she met that came from Paisley University, and she was at a dinner with the rector of Paisley University, and he was talking about one of her doctorates, and she said, yes, my brother's a doctor. And he said, I don't believe you actually use that term. And she went, you do? He told me that. Well, there you go. There's a great Scottish producer called Willie Wands who came up with a great statement about acting that I've ever heard, when he said, how do you make an actor unhappy? You give him a job. Now, the reasoning behind that is if you turn out an actor and you say, when was the last time you worked? And he says, oh, I've not worked in a year. It's brutal. Can you get a sniff? And you say, start Monday. Monday, £1 million, lead role, major feature film. That same actor will turn around and go, Monday? Monday? That's the day I got over Sunday. Can't work Monday. And you say, oh, okay, Tuesday, second lead, 500 grand. Tuesdays? No. Tuesdays 5-a-side in poker night. Wednesdays? No, I say no on a Wednesday. And then finally you say, okay, how about Thursday? How about I give you a job on Thursday? Thursday, it's only 1 day's work. That same actor will turn around and say, well, you talk to me like I'm an extra? You can't win with actors. But as you quoted me saying, the greatest thing about acting, for me, it is the greatest job on earth, because you can recycle anything. You can recycle every emotion and every experience you've ever had, and you can turn it into something meaningful. When I was 21, I had a nervous breakdown at university, and 6 months later, on stage, I found myself playing a coal miner who was gay, and he couldn't come out the closet, and he was a tortured soul, and he had a nervous breakdown. And what amazed me was, as I was weeping on stage, the same thing that had put me in hospital 6 months earlier liberated me in the pretend world. In the pretend world, I was able to find myself, to explore all the pains and agonies of life. But even though I knew there were no limits as to what could be achieved as an actor, and then as a filmmaker and a writer, I was still aware that people, sadly sometimes in Scotland, will put constraints upon what you do according to their own beliefs and oftentimes their own narrow kind of outlooks. There was a woman came up to me in a pub a while back, and she said, Peter, what's happening with Riverside? And I said, I don't know. I'm not in Riverside. And she went, no, but Peter, seriously, I mean, what's happening with Riverside? It's just not the same. And I said, why is that? And she went, funny camera angles, Peter. There's funny camera angles in Riverside. That's no Glasgow. And there was something about that which was quite genius for me. It's like in Glasgow, we don't have funny camera angles. I was doing a gig in Glasgow Industrial Estate, a kids' TV show, and I was playing an alien. And I was dressed head to foot in tinfoil, and I had a blonde wig, and I had a prosthetic that covered my eyes and my nose. So I was just a mouth with a blonde wig, head to foot, tinfoil. And they put little punctures in the eyepiece so I could see. And I was outside having a cigarette, and a guy came up to me, and he said, so what's happening in there? And I said, we're filming. And he went, is that a ticket? This is God's truth. And I went, aye. It's called Murder in Mars. A Christmas special. And I swear to God, the guy went, and are you the murderer? I said, you'll need to watch it to find out. Now, at this point, I guess it's incumbent on me to tell young students that it's tough out there. And at any one time, there's only 5% of us are working. But the truth is, just now, there is more work in television than there's possibly ever been, and the quality's higher than it's ever been. And we shouldn't be afraid of finding work abroad, because just now with technology, with self-taping, we can bypass, we don't have to just go to London. We can look to America, we can look to Europe, we can look beyond. The theatre work is more sparse, but then it's always been. And personally, I would say, make your own theatre. Create your own. You can do the auditions for the established theatre companies and the like, but nothing is creatively more important than getting together with your mates and putting a show before an audience. There's no money in it, but then there's no money in auditions, and there's no money in just waiting for a phone to ring. And the same goes for film. The biggest advice I would give anybody as regards filmmaking is just make it. Make whatever film you can afford and put it out there, put it out to an audience. And it doesn't matter if it's a short film, feature film, it doesn't matter if it's got funny camera angles, it doesn't matter if you're playing as many aliens for Taggart as you so please, as long as you make it and as long as you make it your own. And if an audience, an international audience, a local audience, if they don't get it, if they don't appreciate it, even if they don't understand it, fuck them. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, a performance by the BA Acting Class of 2018 in celebration of the work of Dr. Peter Mullan.
It's because I don't often tell people what I'm thinking.
But I'll tell you this.
I am so glad to be here.
I'll never forget the Scottish people.
My people. Every one of us, kings and queens.
And every one of us poor as stones and not caring about it. Singing about it. Laughing about it.
Because we can still stamp and shout and breathe in life.
Am I right?
Is that who we are?
That's who I am now. In my body. In my person.
I am the King of Scots.
The last sight I had of Scotland was no sight at all.
It was a wet wind, driving waves, and rain in my face so I couldn't see.
I was greeting more salt water than there was in the sea. It was soaking me to the bone.
I felt that the sky and the sea and the wind of Scotland were scolding me, shouting their anger at me.
Well, then I saw the green hills. I saw the dark rocks and towering skies and the far-off mountains of home.
And I drew breath to shout a greeting into that dear country, and
Bam! There it was again.
A stirring wet wind, knocking me back and roaring disdain in my face.
And I'll tell you this, I love that gale.
I'll miss it.
I'll tell you something else.
If that gale had a face, it would be staring at me just like you are.
You are like a cold gale roaring in my eyes.
Shouting in my face.
Who do you think you are, laddie?
Well, I'll tell you. I am Scotland.
That Scotland may be small, but it is whole.
It may be poor,
But all its people know their worth and know how to fight for it.
It may be a tiny part of the world, but it knows all the world knows.
It may be assaulted, but it will never be broken.
And will make no quarrel where it isn't provoked.
but it will bend to no other nation on this earth.
That is Scotland.
That is who we are.
Fantastic stuff. I now invite the head of research and the directors to present the graduands for their awards.
Principal, with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been awarded the degree of Doctor of Philosophy by the University of St Andrews, having successfully completed a programme of study in the School of Music at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. For a thesis entitled Prokofiev's first version of War and Peace, lyrico-dramatic scenes on the novel by L.N. Tolstoy, Dr. Katya Ermolaeva.
Principal, in the name of the School of Drama, Dance, Production and Film, and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduands who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Acting. Olivia Barraclough. Elliot Baxter. Chase Brown. Malcolm Cumming. Caroline Denis. Karina Dokken. Callum Finlay. Kyle Gardner. Stina Hemmingson. Amy Kennedy. Kieran Lawson. Thomas Lloyd Kendall. Anna Martin. Kay McAllister. Titana Mudoy. Paula Nugent. Jack Simpson. Edward Soper. Megan Valentine. Michael Wallace. Alice Zhang. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Production Arts and Design. Bethan Aitken. Shakil Anwar. Omar Bhatia. Amy Copeland. Kirsty Curry. Ailey Fraser. Nicole Green. Ruth Green. Megan Grieve. Jennifer Grubb. Amy Hasty. Deborah Jenkins. Claudia Jevons. Margaret McInnes. Daniel Main. Katie Meehan. Sarah Miller. Melissa Smith. Megan Yeomans. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts, Production, Technology and Management. Rebecca Bell. Emma Campbell. Louise Charity. Kirsty Connell. Amy Dawson. Callum Dunbar. Reese Flynn. Andrew Jackson. Stephen Keenan. He's a very good lighting designer. Not quite so expert with the floral arrangement. Heather McKinnon. Jack McWeeny. Susanna McWhirter. Yesha Sabatinchich West. Laurie Sutton.
Principal, in the name of the School of Music and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Education in Music. With honours of the first class, Jennifer Laurie. Kayla McGregor. Lindsay McIntyre. Craig Moran. Stuart Roy. Craig Scrimger. With honours of the second class, Katie Brown. Lindsay Brown. Fiona Dabjan. Craig Hart. Gregor Kichi. Lohin Kerr. Gemma McPherson. Heather Mitchell. Dale Parker. Sophie Poole. Christy Scott. Grant Walsh. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you this graduate who has been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Arts in Music Education. With honours of the second class, Hannah Jade Murphy. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Music in Traditional Music. With honours of the first class, Lucy Hendry. Bernadette Kellerman. Samantha McAdam Subedi. Aidan Moore. Lucy. Graham Rory. And for the ordinary degree, Gregor Kincaid. On behalf of the partnership comprising the Conservatoire and the National Piping Centre, and with the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present to you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the degree of Bachelor of Music in Traditional Music Piping, with honours of the first class, Josh Fraser. Scott Garden. Michal Steele. With honours of the second class, Scott Figgins. Daniel McDermott.
Principal, in the name of the Directorate of Fair Access and with authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I present you these graduates who have been found worthy to receive the Postgraduate Certificate in Learning and Teaching in Arts Education. Amy Cordell-Erders. Catherine Gardner. With the authority of the Academic Board of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, I request that you confer the appropriate degree upon those graduates listed as in absentia in the programme.
I confer those degrees in absentia.
Principal, I present to you the winner of the Principal's Prize for All-Round Excellence in the School of Drama, Dance, Production and Film, Caroline Denis.
I now invite the Principal to confer the title of Professor.
Laura, having been found worthy of the distinction, I confer upon you, Laura Gonzalez, the title of Professor of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, Spartan Noctus S. Hunc Exona.
I, Laura Gonzalez, Professor of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, faithfully promise that I shall fulfill the duties and responsibilities entrusted to me here in the service of research and interdisciplinary work to the best of my abilities.
I know you will. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Having been found worthy of the distinction, I confer upon you, Hugh Hodgett, the title of Professor of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, Spartan Noctus S. Hunc Exona.
I, Hugh Hodgett, Professor of the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland, faithfully promise that I shall fulfil the duties and responsibilities entrusted to me here in the service of drama and directing to the best of my abilities.
I know you will, and congratulations. Honored guests, graduates, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for being part of what is always a special moment for us at the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland. We are here today for a lot of reasons: to mark achievement, to reflect on the impact the last few years have had, and perhaps most important of all, to look forward and outward to life beyond these walls. May I start by offering my warmest congratulations to you, the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland's class of 2018. Congratulations. We are immensely proud of each and every one of you. We're also delighted today to celebrate the outstanding contribution of Dr. Peter Mullan, or Dr. Peter, from winning a Best Actor in Cannes for My Name is Joe, through roles in everything from Trainspotting to Harry Potter, to your more contemporary and equally captivating roles in Top of the Lake and now Westworld, you are one of the most adaptable and recognizable Scottish actors of your generation. What makes you distinctive, however, is not just your screen presence, but your strong and career-long commitment to giving voice to the voiceless and the unspoken throughout your performances, your writing, and your filmmaking. You are a game-changing artist in every sense, and we are very proud to have awarded you today and recognized you with this honorary doctorate. Now back to you, the class of 2018. Over the time of your studies, you've been part of the fabric of everyday life here, as we've been a very big part of each of your lives. And when you depart today, you'll leave behind your artistic imprint on an institution that, thanks to the imagination and creativity of you and of your teachers, is flying high. The RCS is now internationally leading and is ranked among the finest in the world. And hot off the press, we have the best employability statistics in Scotland, with 99% ranked this year. We are different because we value not just disciplinary excellence as a pursuit in itself, but also the power of collaboration and the power of exploring the spaces in between the disciplines, where new connections, new understanding, and new art can be made and experienced. It is our mission to loosen the bonds of definition as we blur the lines between art forms, and in doing so, challenge the norms of performance. We see the positive result of that in so many different places and so many ways across the institution. The experiences that musicians create from working with dancers, or actors create working with composers, and the myriad collaborations that students take part in during Bridge Week and throughout the year. Just one example of all of this, of course, is the profound change which our groundbreaking BA in Performance in BSL and English for deaf and hard of hearing actors has had on the whole conservatoire. They'll be in the next ceremony, and it's an historic and proud day for all of us, as it's the first cohort to graduate for this program, which is the first of its kind in the United Kingdom. Our whole institution is shaped and framed in part because of where we are in Glasgow and in Scotland, very much as our acting students proclaim today, a city and a nation where culture is valued, shared generously, and has something for everyone. While I doubt you will miss the rain, you may miss many things about this city, not least its humor, its genuine warmth in human terms, if not in degrees Celsius for much of the year, although it's warm now. I'm certain the time you've spent here in Glasgow will form an important part of your lives forever. As our graduates, you're empowered to take everything that is essential and important about your education and apply it with passion and confidence in whatever you choose to do next. And as you go from here to be citizens of the world, it is with our love and encouragement to be the best that you can be. In thanking you and celebrating your achievements, there's a group of very special people that you and I also need to thank for the part they've played in supporting you, and that's your family and friends here, and those not able to be here with us today. So graduates, just as they're celebrating your achievements, can I ask you to be upstanding and applaud your audience as a way of saying thank you for being here and for everything they've done for you. Thank you to family and friends. Now I want to use this remaining time to remind you why you came here and urge you to stay true to those values and traditions. Wherever we turn, cynics and systems appear to challenge the value and the purpose of the arts in our lives and communities. Increasingly, public authorities in Scotland or across the UK or elsewhere in the world are truncating severely or removing entirely access to performing arts tuition from those young people who cannot afford to pay for it. In addition, and fanning the flames of an increasingly financial, results-driven and market-driven approach to higher education, the Institute for Fiscal Studies earlier this month declared that art students are the most likely destined to be the lower earners amongst their peers. The unspoken inference being, so why bother being an art student or an artist at all? Develop this school of thought further to its logical endpoint, and you're confronted with a question such as, why does it matter? Do the arts feed us? What do they actually contribute to society? We all share a deep belief that the performing arts are one of the greatest inventions of humankind, a language that expresses the gamut of human experience, and a language that can be shared by all of us, regardless of our mother tongue. We share a world that in some senses is becoming ever more global and fast-paced, but in others is becoming divided by differing views and values. Our sharing of our art has the potential to slow that fast pace down and allow us to focus on the moment, the phrase, the line. Our sharing of our arts also builds bridges between us, allowing us to set aside our different backgrounds and points of view and come together around an art that is greater than any one of us alone. The world needs these bridges between peoples more than ever, and you graduates should be in the forefront of showing how there is more that unites us than divides us. I suggest to you that the value of the performing arts, both to you as a practitioner and to those with whom you share them, cannot be measured in terms of pounds and pence, because they are priceless. In this, the centenary year of his birth, composer Leonard Bernstein is as relevant and resonant as ever in defining what this means, and I'd like to end by quoting him. Bernstein said, "It is the artists of the world, the feelers and the thinkers, who ultimately save us, who can articulate, educate, defy, insist, sing, and shout the big dreams." So as the Royal Conservatoire of Scotland's class of 2018, be true to yourself and remember why you came here. And whatever you do next, leave this place shouting those big dreams. Thank you. This congregation is now ended. Please be upstanding for our graduates.